Dear friends and fellows, do you know the construction work is considered to be one of the most hazardous industrial activities in the entire world? The rate of injury in the construction industry is higher than any other industry. The most frequent causes of death in the construction industry are falls from height, followed by fatal accidents with vehicles. Welcome to HSC tutorial. Today, I'm going to discuss how to manage workplace transport. I'm your host, Javed, and you are watching Safety First. If you are new on this channel, kindly subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, and if you find the video informative, then like, comment, and share with your friends. Let us discuss now the main types of transport accidents in the workplace. Number one, people are struck or run over by moving vehicles, most probably during reversing. Number two, falling from vehicles. Number three, struck by objects falling from vehicles. And number four, injured because of vehicles overturning. It follows that by removing or reducing the risk of accidents involving vehicles on construction sites, there can be a significant reduction in the number of fatal accidents in the construction industry. And the question is how to prevent vehicular accidents. Dear friends and fellows, accident prevention doesn't start when work begins on site. By good design and planning in the pre-build phase, architects, designers, and planners can significantly reduce the risk of vehicle accidents. Let us understand the factors that make the accidents more likely. Think about the work that is done and identify hazards that come along with the presence of vehicles at the workplace. For example, reversing operations, loading, unloading, lighting, dust, noise, etc. Among some of the factors that may make vehicle accidents more likely are exposure to difficult weather conditions, rough access roads, time pressure, and the presence of workers from different contractors on site. You have to talk to the workers and their representatives, involve them in the risk assessment process, and tell them what you are doing to reduce risk. Dear friends and fellows, let us discuss now the most common causes of accidents in the workplace. The number one cause of death in a vehicle accident at work is where a person is run over by a vehicle. The victim may be another worker or even the operator themselves. The most common causes of such accidents are poor visibility, inadequate brakes, possibly from lack of maintenance, poor design of site layout and pedestrian walkways, lack of driver competence due to poor or inadequate training, carelessly parked vehicles. For example, being parked on a slope without being adequately secured, unsafe coupling, and uncoupling of trailers. The second high-ranking cause is overturning of vehicles. A large number of deaths in the workplace transport accidents are due to vehicles overturning. Forklift trucks, compact dumpers, tipper lorries, and tractors are all especially prone to overturning because of their high center of gravity, working on uneven ground, moving on slopes, or unbalanced loads. There are also some other reasons or other types of vehicle accidents at the construction site. Dear friends and fellows, other risks on construction sites with vehicles are falls on or from vehicles when climbing on and off, people being struck by load, for example, when using a crane or forklift truck, working near overhead power lines while lifting the trailer or working with a crane, malfunctioning vehicles, and collisions with objects, including other vehicles. After discussing the causes or the reasons of vehicle accidents in a construction site, let us understand the strategies how to prevent these accidents. As part of preventive actions, it is important to ensure that all workers receive appropriate information, education, and training. Provide good documentation of hazards and risks discovered, of groups harmed most often, and the kind of injury, of measures to improve occupational safety and health, and avoid the specific hazards and risks and their effectiveness. The number one solution to avoid or prevent vehicle accidents at site is the provision of safe workplace. Here the question is how we can make our workplaces safe by establishing a traffic plan for the site and the project. Ensure all visiting drivers report to site management before entering the construction site. Ensure that vehicles and pedestrians are segregated where possible, and check that the layout of routes is appropriate for vehicle and pedestrian activities. As discussed, if we provide separate passage for pedestrians and a separate route for vehicles, we can minimize the chances of transport accidents to a greater extent. What to do then, and how to segregate pedestrians and vehicles? Provide a physical barrier to achieve the segregation. If not, adequate warnings must be in place. Ensure there are suitable pedestrian crossing points on vehicle routes. Avoid the need for reversing by. Better design of the workplace. If unavoidable, use safe systems of work for reversing. And where risks cannot be eliminated by other means, provide and use a trained signaler to assist the vehicle driver. Consider introducing a one-way traffic system to reduce the risk of collisions. Check that vehicle traffic routes are suitable for the types and quantity of vehicles that use them. Ensure they are wide enough and that floor and road surfaces are kept in good condition, means they are maintained. Remove obstructions where possible. Otherwise, make sure they are clearly visible. Avoid including sharp bends in road layouts. Provide suitable fixed mirrors at blind corners. Check that suitable safety features are provided. Direction, speed limit, and priority signs may be needed and posted. Determine whether physical speed restrictions such as speed bumps are necessary or not. Edges of loading bays, pits, etc. must be clearly marked and fitted with a barrier if possible. Put in clear road markings. Take steps to improve visibility, for example, by the installation of mirrors. Where necessary, install speed ramps and warning signs. Provide supportive structures where necessary to prevent collapse and to prevent vehicles running off the roadways. Dear friends and fellows, you are watching Safety First. Today we are discussing how to manage workplace transport, how we can reduce the number of vehicular accidents, how to improve site safety, to segregate pedestrians and vehicles. Check that Lighting and visibility provide safe passage through the work site, both inside and outside. Potential hazards such as road junctions, pedestrians, and obstructions must be clearly visible and ensure that traffic routes are safe and secure. Alone, safe workplace is not the standard or the sign of safety to avoid transport accidents at site. Equally, you have to ensure that safe and suitable vehicles are being used at site. Vehicles should be purchased with appropriate safety features and comply with required standards. Carry out regular inspections and maintenance on all vehicles. Apply speed limiter on vehicles where necessary. Apply control systems to prevent vehicles from moving when forklift trucks are loading or unloading. Apply radar sensors to warn drivers if reversing too near to an object where necessary. You have to ensure that loads are properly secure. Check that there is a safe means of access to and exit from the vehicle. Check whether the vehicle requires audible warning devices, for example, on reversing lorries and flashing beacons on vehicles to increase their visibility. And check whether the driver has adequate protection against overturning or being hit by falling objects. Apply rollover protective systems (ROPS) and falling object protective structures to protect the driver where necessary. If the workplace is safe, vehicles are safe, but still, if the drivers or operators are not trained and fit, there is no possibility to reduce vehicular accidents in the construction project. So, staff, operators, and drivers are the most important element. You have to check the selection and training procedures to ensure that drivers are capable of working safely. Drivers should be competent to operate their vehicles and carry out daily maintenance. Drivers should be medically fit with good mobility, hearing, and vision. Only people who have been selected, trained, and authorized should only be allowed to drive vehicles. And lastly, high visibility clothing should be worn if pedestrians and vehicles cannot be segregated adequately. Dear friends and fellows, after managing a safe workplace, safe vehicles, operators and drivers are trained, competent, and fit. Still, we have to do a lot more to keep the site under control and to reduce the risk of vehicular accidents to an acceptable level. Now, lastly, we have to bound all these elements in one single procedure or method. It is possible by applying operational procedures, safe systems of work to protect the driver during unloading and loading of heavy goods vehicles. Display a plan of the workplace at entrance and appropriate points showing vehicle routes, one-way systems, etc. Restrict access of personnel from reversing areas where it is unavoidable, with the exception of a trained signaler to assist the driver if required. Make sure that drivers are trained and competent to operate or drive the vehicles safely. Check driving licenses and training certificates must be available and validated. Develop working procedures for vehicle maintenance, refueling, etc., and check that they are respected. Ensure that delivery vehicle drivers are correctly briefed on site rules. In other words, you have to give induction to all the drivers approaching the construction site and ensure safe systems of work for loading and unloading vehicles. And that's all. Training session related to the management of workplace transport is over now. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, comment and share. Hope to see you soon with a new HSC tutorial. Till then, take care. Good luck and Allah Hafiz.